Chapter 20 Into the Abyss. We arrived at the dock to find Lily standing proudly beside a pirate. His hat off, his head bowed low. I stepped off the boat and greeted her. "Hey, Lil, how's the pirate life?" She shrugged. "Basically awesome. These guys treat me way better than you ever did, so I might stick with them for a while." I laughed and shook my head. Keenan smirked as he approached. "So she's going with them?" he asked, grinning. "Ah, good. Some peace and quiet at last." Lily's nostrils flared. "Oh, really?" she snorted. "Well, just for that, I'm going with you guys." She turned to the pirate. "Listen here, what's your name?" Before he could answer, she waved him off. "Never mind, your name is Bob now. Bob, I'm going to need you to take over for me while I'm gone. But don't you dare mess up my ship or I will eat you. Got it?" Bob nodded fervently. I struggled not to laugh. "Good," Lily declared. "Now go find us some resources. We got bad guys coming." As Bob hurried toward the ship, she called after him, "And Bob, don't kill anyone unless they're demons, or if they really, really deserve it." He nodded again as he climbed aboard, and the ship immediately set sail. Lily sighed, watching it slip from the harbor. "Well, it was a good run as Pirate Queen, but I may have to retire from life at sea and settle for being a landlubber." Throm shook his head as she walked past, then glanced at me. I smiled. "Sometimes meeting your idols isn't all you hoped it would be, huh?" He chuckled. "I suppose not." We made our way towards the city center, where Gam met us. He listened intently as we recounted the Isle of Light, asking a few clarifying questions. When we finished, he sighed. "There's a sliver of hope you might find those boys," he said, "but you'll need to go to the king to see if it's ready." Throm nodded. "The portals?" Gam nodded back. "I think they're close. I just spoke with Reggie and—" "Wait!" Keenan and I shouted together. Nothing happened. We stood dumbfounded. "Wait," Keenan repeated, staring at Gam. "Say his name again." Gam frowned, but obliged, speaking slowly. "Reggie?" Still nothing. I glanced at Keenan. "Why does he only appear when we say it?" "I have no idea," Keenan muttered. Gam looked between us confused. "What are you two talking about?" "Whenever we say Reggie," I began, then winced. Poof! Reggie appeared, tapping his foot impatiently. "You still look very alive," he said, annoyed. Gam cracked a smile. "Sorry," I said. "We were just talking about portaling, and—" Reggie's eyes lit up. "Oh, yes. I just figured that out. The black stones we enchanted can now block the portals, though we're running low on reagents, enough for most major cities in the dwarves under the mountain. The stones have the right resonance to stabilize the—" He paused, staring at us. "Well, never mind. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about anyway. Basically, the stones block portals within a certain radius." He grinned. "And we even managed to create returnable porter from the demon realm. You'll have to talk to the king about that one. I'm very proud of it. Although, to be fair, the dwarves did most of the work. I just swooped in and took all the credit at the end." He beamed. "Glad you're not dying. Glad I could help. Gotta go." And just like that, he vanished. I sighed. "Yeah, like that." Gam chuckled. "Well, he must really like you. He doesn't do that for anyone else I know." Throm's expression hardened. "We need to get back to the king and see if we can portal in to save the students." "Whoa," Rieger cut in. "We don't even know if we can find them, or if they're even still alive." Throm met my gaze, voice nearly breaking. "But as a paladin, I have to try." I nodded. "We just have to be careful. No unnecessary risks. We can't lose anyone else." Keenan shook his head. "No, Throm's right. If there's even a chance, we have to try." "Okay," I said, "but let's talk to the king first. We need to make sure getting there and back is even possible." Lily perked up. "All I heard was that we get to take the fight to the bad guys in their house," she grinned. "I'm definitely messing up their furniture." We all stopped and stared at her. "What?" she asked, looking around. "Do they not have furniture?" We exchanged glances, shrugged, and then burst into laughter. Lily huffed, "What?" As evening fell, we all returned home. After a restful night's sleep, we set out before dawn, determined to reach the mountain, with the strength needed to attempt a rescue. As we walked, the question of teleportation gnawed at Keenan. "Reg, the gnome can do it," Keenan muttered, catching himself. "Why can't we?" Throm chuckled. "He doesn't do it that often, and he's a lot smaller than us, less mass to move." "I suppose," Keenan said. Lily laughed. "Could just fly." I nodded. "In an emergency, sure, but flying burns a lot of energy. We should conserve our strength for when we really need it." "I suppose," Lily said, then darted off the path to pluck a flower. She skipped back, grinning, and I smiled, remembering how much she loved them. When we arrived at the mountain, we were led straight to the king, who greeted us with a smile. "I have good news," he announced. He repeated Reggie's report, then added, "We've placed enchanted stones all around the mountain. So the enemy can't open portals here unless we allow it. He hesitated, then continued. We also sent a scout team to test the portals. His expression darkened as he glanced toward a cluster of guards gathered near open ground, weapons at the ready. They should have been back by now, the king muttered, striding towards them. Keenan stepped forward. Can you open another portal? We can go check on them. No, the king said firmly. This mission was meant to test the portal's safety. We can't risk more lives if they're being dropped into lava, a cage, or, he gestured vaguely, right into the middle of the enemy's mess hall for all we know. Throm nodded. Without a return strategy, a suicide mission would be unwise. We waited anxiously for the scout's return. In the meantime, we filled the king in on what had happened at the Island of Light. Just as I was about to ask about alternatives, a portal suddenly opened in the middle of the assembled troops. Soldiers instantly formed ranks, weapons raised toward the shimmering gateway. Several 10 seconds passed before two dwarfs stumbled out, coughing violently. The portal snapped shut behind them, and the troops surged forward to assist. Healers rushed in, then quickly stepped back after examining them. They just inhaled some smoke, one reported. They should be fine. The soldiers gave them space as the king stepped forward to question them. We emerged in a vast cavern, one scout said, still clearing his throat. There was a large stone structure at one end and what looked like some kind of barracks or maybe a prison at the other. We could hear shouting now and then, and patrols moved through the area at random. Our main goal is to find a stable anchor point for the portal was a success, the second scout added. We finally found a small cave off the main path and placed it there. It took us longer to return because we had to make sure it was safe before using it. The king turned to us, his expression hesitant. I can fully support Throm and Keenan going in to check on their captured friends. However, he said, looking directly at me and Lily, I strongly urge both of you to stay behind. If either of you is lost, he paused, then all hope may be lost. I understood his concern, but I couldn't let Keenan go without me. Even with my memories restored, even knowing who I truly was, the life I had lived with him still mattered. He was my childhood friend, and that bond was just as important as anything else. I placed a reassuring hand on the king's shoulder and offered a small smile. I give you my word, I'll make sure we all come back. He studied me for a long moment, as if he wanted to say more, then sighed. Very well, it is of course your choice. I turned to Rieger and Keenan with a mischievous glint in my eye. Then raising my voice just enough, I said, However, I don't think Lily should go. It's far too dangerous. Lily exploded. What? To what? How dare you? She planted her hands on her hips, fuming. You can't go without me. I struggled to keep a straight face. Lily, I said solemnly, we simply can't risk ruining their furniture. There was a second of silence before realization dawned on her. Wait, they're... Oh, you jerk, she huffed. Too dangerous, she muttered under her breath, scowling. I burst out laughing. She glared at me. I'm the dangerous one, you old softy. Then she punched me in the shoulder as Rieger and Keenan chuckled at her outburst. The king handed each of us a small stone, one for me, one for Lily, and one for Throm. Then he turned to Rieger and Keenan with an apologetic expression. I'm sorry, we only had 3. I was originally going to give out just 1, but since these 2, he nodded toward Lily and me, are going, they each get 1 in case they get separated. How do they work? Rieger asked, peering over my shoulder. Just throw them on the ground, the king explained. The portal will open instantly. But keep in mind, those are all we have for now. If you can manage with just 1, that would be best. How long do they stay open? Throm asked. They're locked at 30 seconds, the king replied. If you go through too soon, whatever is behind you might follow, and if you go through too late, he shrugged. Well, just don't go through too late. I chuckled. Good advice. The king's expression turned serious. If the worst should happen, he said, pausing, and you're not back by morning, I'll send in the hammers. Lily perked up. You called? She said, smiling. The king chuckled. Not you, Lily. However, I think you'll like this. With a flourish, she explained, the hammers are a battalion of 100 shock troops, trained to descend with unmatched force and destroy everything in their path, no matter who or what stands in their way. Lily's eyes lit up. Now that's what I'm talking about. She turned to me with a smirk. Hey, bro, you got anything cool like the hammers? I doubt it. I bet something lame, like the healers is named after you. The king started to speak. Well, actually, no, Lily interrupted, waving a hand. Don't ruin the moment. I'm having a moment. Let me bask in it. She took a deep breath, closed her eyes for a few seconds, then exhaled. Okay, that was a good moment. She opened her eyes and looked around. What? She asked as everyone stared at her. We've got demons to fight, don't we? Why are you all standing around? Then she turned and strode towards the waiting troops, muttering to herself, "The hammers. How cool is that?" The king glanced at me. I shrugged. "Yeah, she's always like that. And don't worry, I'd be honored to have the healers named after me." Keenan shrugged too. "I'd be happy just to have a meal or a cool sword named after me." "Hey," Rieger said, nudging him, "don't you already have some crazy spell and a sentient shield?" Keenan replied, "Fair point." Rieger and I laughed. After that, we finalized the plan with the king, where we'd search, how long we had, and what to do if things went wrong. One of the royal mages stepped forward and opened a portal with Keenan and Throm immediately stepping through. I took a deep breath. After 2,000 years, I was finally going to see their world, the world that had nearly destroyed ours. What would it be like? Who would we encounter? Would we survive? Well, we had to. I had made a promise. Smiling to myself, I exhaled. "Here we go," I said, and stepped through the portal.